Hey guys, it's Anthony with Jhuly's Aquatics and Gardening, and I'm back with another video. And today I am playing with my topiary. Now, if you are following me on Instagram, which I highly suggest that you do, because I post a lot of updates and random things on Instagram, like I do random urge projects, and I post those on Instagram and not Facebook, not YouTube rather. So if you're not following me there, follow me there. However, on Instagram the other day, I did show where I went to my local nursery and picked up all of these myrtles for $2.99. Now, I did show on Instagram, but this and this are the exact same thing. This is already in topiary form. I paid $25 for this, and normally they go for like 60, 70 bucks a piece. So $25 for this was very reasonable. I went to a different nursery and I found all of these myrtles for $2.99 a piece. And as usual, it's a noisy, busy, crazy day in the neighborhood. So I found these for $2.99 a piece and I grabbed all of them, including a couple of variegated forms. Now these, I went to another nursery and I saw myrtle topiaries. They were like 50, 60 bucks. And I was so inspired because they had different forms, different shapes. Some were espalier, some were more conical, columnar, Christmas tree forms. So I got really inspired and I said I wanted to create a couple of different topiary forms from these guys. So I'm going to let the plant inform the shape rather than getting a shape, having a shape in mind and trying to conform the plant to that shape. I think it'll be easier that way. So I have a whole bucket of topiary of myrtles soaking in a bucket right off camera here. And I also have this, I don't quite remember the name of it. I think it's a Somalia, but I saw this in a beautiful bush form at another nursery and I'm going to try to create that same form out of this. Again, I paid $2.99 for that. So I'm just going to get to work here again, just forming, shaping, and creating topiary from these myrtle specimens. Now, there is no hard and fast rule for creating topiary as far as I'm concerned. Just have fun with your topiary. There's no hard and fast rules. There's nothing to, really concern yourself about. As long as it looks good to you and it's in a topiary form, as far as you're concerned, then that's topiary. So I have a couple of different pots. One thing I want to make sure is that when I pot all of my myrtles, they're in the same style. They don't have to be the same shape, but they're all in this kind of Italian, Mediterranean terracotta pot. So I have my seasonally appropriate apple cider. I've got a snips for finer detailed work, and I have my clippers to help me shape my topiary. Myrtles are not hardy, so they do have to go inside over the winter. They will kind of defoliate ever so slightly inside, but just keep them in a really, really bright window. Keep them well hydrated and you'll be fine. Now, before I started, I actually soaked all of my myrtles in some water for about, I think, half an hour or so, or just shy of half an hour. I don't even remember how long. They like to be evenly moist, not, again, sitting in water, but evenly moist. You don't want to ever let them dry out. So just bear that in mind. First thing I like to do is identify the trunk. And then I want to see how far I'm going to limb it up and then go from there. Alright, so hopefully you should be able to see a little bit better now. But you can see on this particular specimen, here's the trunk. Here's the trunk. I've got this wild branch actually growing from the base of the plant, which I am going to clip off hard against the trunk. And if you wanted to save this as fodder to start another topiary, feel free, I won't. So as I was saying, at the nursery, they weren't in particularly good lighting conditions, so all of them are skewed to one side or another. So I'm going to try to stake it so I can get it to grow straight, and then I'm going to be limbing this up in a way that is going to make it look really bare to begin with. But it'll work out in the end. Now, you do want to clip your topiaries often. That helps them to bush out and to thicken up and to be fuller, thicker plants. So you want to bear that in mind. I'm in my front yard with a camera, sitting around a table, clipping plants and talking, and I'm getting a lot of looks from the cars passing by, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So again, letting the plant dictate the form. So this trunk is very short, it's very stubby. So I think I want to have this one be more rounded, a low rounded mound, as opposed to something tall. This is going to be quite tricky because there are a lot of really bad offshoots. So this branch should be the leader here, and all of these other branches growing out should have been clipped off. But not to fear, we are going to attempt to correct that mistake. So I am going to get stakes and stake this up so it can grow straight. So as far as letting the plant inform the shape, leaning this straight up and kind of repositioning the branches, I'm feeling an espalier shape out of this particular topiary. So the side facing me will be the back and the side facing you will be the front. So back here there's this, which is now going to be termed as a wild branch, that I'm going to take off, again hard to the trunk. And then I'm going to use my snips, which is, for final work, to clean up that edge so that way it's not showing. So everything back here I'm going to take off because I'm going to be getting a lattice, which I don't have, which I should have for this video. I'm going to be getting a lattice and tying it, the topiary, onto the form in the back here. So I don't really want too much wild growth back here for the moment. So that kind of looks like it'll work. So now I am going to think about pot choice. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. All right, that should be good. So I want to leave enough room at the top for watering so I don't have water sloughing off over the side. And if I want to top dress this, I want to have enough room for that also. So now I'm going to just tease out these roots with my finger ever so gently, and I top dress. And push that soil down into the sides of the container. You don't want any air holes. So if you're the creative type, you can make yourself a frame or a lattice. I am not, so I will be buying. Just taking my dirty hands and wiping them across the surface of the pot to not make it look so brand new. I want it to appear a bit aged. So again, just to go over, you see from the back, it's bare. But again, I'm going to be lifting this up as such and attaching it to a frame for an espalier. So this one is done. Alright, moving on. I want to find one that I can shape into a low ball. And this looks like it's it. It has a very long central stem, and it's pretty thick growth here in the middle. So this is going to be my low topiary, my low ball. So right here in the center, right here is where I want the majority of the growth to be. I want this to be a shorter topiary. So all of this up here, I'm gonna sacrifice. This will rebound and it will bush out and I'll have a nice short topiary. So I think you pretty much got the gist. So I'm just gonna continue here to play with my topiary, and if there is anything that I think you guys should see or know, I will be sure to fill you in before we say goodbye to each other on this last video. Again, well, that's it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 topiary. So, as you can see, each of them have a different shape. Oh, actually 14. I have a bonsai. I have another variegated form over there. That's in more of a bonsai shape. Hold on, let me grab it. So, that's the last one, and it's in more of a bonsai shape. It's more organic and free form, and I like it. So, 2, 4. So, in all, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Did I count right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 topiary. I don't know how I'm going to get these in the house. But, so as you can see, I've got different shapes. I've got different forms. Some of them are tall, like these scented geraniums. I've got this one, which is in more of a box shape, a rectangular form. I've got the traditional round forms. Everything has gotten a nice haircut. I have some which I'm starting to train into a columnar Christmas tree form. I've got some which I've taken down really far to get a nice low ball. In time, these will fill out, and it's a process. Making topiary is a process. It's not going to look like this right off the bat. I bought it in this shape, so it's going to take a while for these things to form and to look the way you want them to look, so just be patient. Again, I started with plants that were soaked for about half an hour to fully hydrate them. I started with damp, not soaking wet soil, so they really didn't need to be watered in, even though I still watered them in very lightly. So I'm just going to leave them here on my table. I'm actually going to pull it underneath my pine tree so they're in a little bit more shade, and I'm just going to let them be. I'm on the hunt for a plant stand that I can put on my front step, so I can display these nicely next year. If you have a suggestion of a nice plant stand that I can accommodate 14 topiary and probably more by this time next year, please be sure to leave me a link in the comments or direct message me and let me know. So again, just to recap, topiary is not hard. It should be a very organic process. You want to just do what makes you feel happy, whatever floats your boat. There's no hard and fast rules. There's no particular shape or form that a topiary has to take. You can use anything as topiary fodder, just like these scented geraniums here, which have a really nice scent. But again, I'm just going to let these stay here and just enjoy the last couple of days that we have. Temperatures are plummeting, so I'm going to be keeping my eye on these guys, and right as we get near 40 degrees, I'm going to be moving them into the garage and spraying them with an insecticide, and I'll show you that whole process. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss an upload. Be sure to leave me a like. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section. In all things, you know what to do, guys. Give thanks, no matter what, who, when, why, or where. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and God bless.